So now let us start towards working of vectors. So vectors are going to play a crucial role for our language, where we are going to use this C, where we are going to use the C, we call it as concatenate, and this concatenate, it is going to make a combination, or it is going to combine. It is going to combine the items or the elements into vectors. So here the variable name apple is going to be the variable name, and it is going to fed with the red, green and yellow. And then when we are going to print the class of apple, because when we are going to talk about a vectors, the first and foremost thing was we have to use a C method that we call it as concat, and an arrow mark which we are going to call it as assignment. So these two are going to be the primitive items before we dig to the vectors. And vectors, we are going to print the class. So the printing of the class, what type of data this apple is going to know, you want to understand. So inside apple there is a red color, green color and yellow color. So now what is the data type of that you want to understand? So then we are going to use this class, and it displays the elements one by one, and therefore it displays the data type what it was mentioning. Next one was the second type of data structure or a data type what this R is going to provide will be the list. So list, as per the definition, we are going to call it is going to be an R object, and which it is going to contain different types of elements in vectors, vector functions on like that. So even lists now at this point of time, it can contain basic data types and vectors. So up to now, this is what we mentioned. Why we are mentioning here C of 2 comma 5 comma 3 we mentioned here. So this it is going to point out to a vector. So what we were telling is we created a list. In that list we are supplementing 2 comma 5 comma 3. So this entire element we call it as a vector. Then we made 21.3. So 21.3 we are going to call it as a float. Then we supplied sign. So sign, yeah, it is going to be assumed here as a character type. So multiple modalities of data types are going to be accepted in the list. So this was the takeaway from the slide what we have to understand. So what is this list consisting of? So now list, the first element it is going to display 253. The second level it is going to display 21.5, and third level it is going to display the primitive function, the sign function what it is. So that is what we say here, vectors and functions even in another list inside it. So a list within another list can also be possible when we are going to declare the list objects. Next one was a quite interesting data type here, that is we call it as a matrix, and this matrix it is going to be of a two-dimensional matrix, and this two-dimensional matrix, yeah, it is going to be created both with rows and columns. Here it is created with rows and columns. So now you can see here the supplement to the matrix, we are going to give the vector input here. So that is A, B, C, B, A, we are going to give in this model. and we want to print this number of rows is equals to 2 and number of columns is equals to 3, and you mentioned that by row is equals to true. What it means was assign rows first. Otherwise, if we ignore this, it will print the item in the column value. If we miss this, it is going to print the item in the column value. So we have n, which we are going to say it is matrix M, and when we are going to print this, now the first three items we mentioned it as A, B, C, D, and A. So now the first three items it is going to treat it as row 1, and A, this is called it as column 3s, and then we mentioned C, B, A, it is going to be row 2, and all these items it is going to be 3 columns. So column 1, column 2, and column 3. So this is how the answer was displayed. And similarly, subscripting is also provided here. So what is subscripting here means I want to identify the 2 position. So I can just take this advantage, and then I can get 2, 2, that is second row and second column. So directly I can identify the element which is going to be displayed at this matrix. The next thing was using of the arrays. So one more advanced data type provided at this R language, we are going to call it as an array. So in this arrays, the definition looks like this: matrix, they are going to confine only to the 2-dimensional, and when an array, it can be of any dimension. So that was the advantage of bringing up the data types. So when we take it as a matrix, we are confining ourselves only to rows and columns, etc., and multiple ways. If we want to repeat it multiple times, so such things are not going to be possible. So how this change is going to make means, this change is going to take with the attribute called as a dim. So dimensions, it is going to define 3, 3, 2. So 3, it is indicates row item, 3 is going to indicate column item, and 2, it says number of times the array must print or repeat. So how many times the array elements has to be repeated? So those many times the value is going to be supplemented. So dimension, DIM stands for dimension, which we define row, column, and number of times. So now you can see here the array was given with the green and yellow, and this was telling you make it 3 by 3 and 2 times. So I want 3 rows and I want 3 columns and number of times to repeat. So how it is going up, but there are no elements extra, but still it is asking 3. We have given only 2 elements. So what will it go was, it will move with the only with the existing elements which is availability. So the existing elements which are available are only green and yellow. Therefore it says green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow. So it keeps on repeating the existing items one after the other in a circular model until its target is finished. So what was its target is, it should first build up the 3 by 3 matrix. Then what was the second target was, then it has to print a number of times was 2. So then this is first version 1, this is second version 2. So in this way, the basic definition of an array here was the drawback addressed in the matrix. We can do particularly in a 2-dimensional axis, and we can't repeat it with the second time or multiple times. So such is going to be identified, and that it is going to be eliminated with the data type called as an array. After the array data type, the next thing was the factor data type. So this factor data type, yeah, it is also called as an OR object, and it is going to be created using vectors. So this was the key takeaway. It is created using the vector items, and it is going to store unique values, or it is going to store distinct values. So this was the takeaway. So unique values, whatever are there, only those values are going to be taken, and they are going to be given in the labels form. So how we can do it means we are going to have a factor function, and it is going to be put it in number of levels. So for that we are going to use a factor as a function, and we are going to put number of levels as a function to count the given content. So here I am going to have this vector apple underscore colors, where we can have green, yellow, red, green, red, and green. So now this entire set we are going to call it as a vector. So why we are going to call it as a vector? Because we had made a concatenation, and we had made an assignment operator to the variable called as apple underscore color. The next thing was we want to look what are the objects here. So objects, they are going to print the unique items. So how we are going to put the unique items means we are going to mention factor. So factor is a reserved word of the element. So what was this element? We call it as apple underscore color. Now how many distinct levels are there? So one distinct item you can look, it is green. Second distinct item was yellow, and third distinct item was red. Therefore it is level 1, level 2, level 3. So total there are 3 levels, so that it is going to brought. What are the labels? So the 3 level labels. So the 3 level labels, what they are going to be? They are going to be either green, they are going to be either yellow, or they are going to be either red. So that's the reason why we get green, red, and yellow. So factors, we are going to get a unique identification. So if it is keep on repeating, it will repeat, of course, but who is going to be the unique items in the levels of granularity, we are going to get the with a function called as a factor. After this, we have another interesting word called as a frame. So when we talk about frame, the first and foremost thing, we will use the structured approach, and second thing, we represent the data set, and this data set, it is going to be in table form with rows and columns. So this is the basic intention why we are putting the data frames. So we can say here all the objects, they are going to be put it into a tabular form, and it is like more or less like a matrix, and it can be having multimodal data types. Integer, everything should be a float. That is the constraint when we are working with matrix. But when we are coming with the data frames, any type of basic data types, any type of advanced data types in R, so all can be pulled out together, and all can be brought to a single item. So that is the advantage of bringing up the data frames here. So let us see this example here. So in this example, we are going to create a data frame. So how I'm going to create a data frame was data.frame, and then I will put all the essential elements and close it, and I'm creating a variable called as BMI. BMI stands for body mass index. So it is what we were putting underweight, or we are putting overweight, or we are on exact weight. So that it is going to be decided based on the height and based off on the weight of ourselves. So how we are going to calculate means, for males one type of weight it will be decided, and for females another type of weight will be decided. So again, gender is also going to play a crucial role when we are going to bring this body mass index. So here we are going to say data dot frame, and gender, yeah, it is taking male, female, etc. Then we are going to give the heights. So there are three different heights we are going to give: 152, 171 and 165. Then for the weight of the three members, 81, 93 and 78, and the age of the three members, 42, 38 and 26. So this is how we are going to create the data frame. So the syntax for creating the data frame was, we need to have the name of a data frame. Then we are going to use this create function called as data dot frame, and then inside it we can put the type of basic data types or the advanced data types. It is up to us what type of data types we want. Those data types can be given up in the data frames. So we get this gender, we get the height, we get the weight, and we get the age. And finally, we are going to print the body mass index at this point of time. So we get gender, we get height, we get weight, and then age. So you can have a tabular view of data. That too we can get in number of rows and number of columns. So in this way we are printing out the essential items. So a quick recap of what we learned from this was, we started off with logical, that is Boolean variable to decide the class of a variable, whether it is true or false. Second, if it is going to be the register data, it is going to be the numeric data type, then it can be integer or float. But specifically, if I want to get an integer, then I am going to use an integer data type. And if we are working with quadratic polynomial roots, etc., then we are calling it as a complex data. Similarly, character contents, they are going to be represented in single quotes or double quotes. And to represent the items in hexadecimal number system, we are going to use the raw object. Then coming to the advanced data structures, data types, which are going to be in R. First one, we are going to call it as a vector. Vectors, they are going to be representing with the C function. C, we call it a concatenate function, which it is going to combine two or more elements here. And so the next one was the list here. So in this list, it can have the basic types, or it is going to have the advanced data types. So it can have functions also. So the example it is going to show, here, list is going to be the reserved word, and this reserved word, it is providing a list, a general type of numeric, and a function. So three items are going to take place. So it is going to have a vector, it is going to have an integer, and it is going to have a function. So all these three, we are going to print it out with the three different ways. Next thing was the advanced data type in R. We are going to call it as a matrix form. So matrix, we are going to create it with number of rows and number of columns here. So number of rows and number of columns functions are going to be given, and how the matrix items, how the matrix elements has to be displayed, that we are going to specify. By row is equals to true means it will be displayed row by row. By column is equals to true means it will be displayed column by column. So that it is going to be specified by the human who wants the matrix to be printed in what form, so that it is going to be decided by the human. Next one was arrays. So the drawback in this matrix was it is two-dimensional way and it can't be repeated for more than once. So to eliminate that bug, the arrays are going to come into picture. So it can repeat the array elements, it can repeat the matrix elements, it can repeat the vector elements as many number of times as procured by the user. So this was the advantage of printing up the array here. So we have this green and yellow as two inputs only, and these two inputs, they are supplied with a dimension with 3 comma 3 comma 2. So 3 is going to give number of rows, columns, number of columns 3, and 2 number of times here. So how many times the array should display, whether 2 times, 3 times, 5 times. So how many times this array is going to mold, so that it is going to check it up. So next comes the factors. So factors, it is going to find the distinct elements. It is going to find the distinct elements or distinct levels inside the body here. So we have green, 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 red, 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 like that. So the repetitions are going to be eliminated. Only the unique items are going to be figured out. So here I am going to have green, green, yellow, red, 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 green, yellow. So green is occurrences. How many times it is? We will be consider only one. Yellow occurrences can be any number of times. We can get it only once. Red, the occurrences can be any number of times. It can be given up only once. So in such a way, the number of levels are going to be described, and that we are going to use with the factor function. So that one we are going to specify using the factor function. After that, we have this data frames. So to create a data frame, the syntax what we are going to prompt up will be data.frame here, and data.frame we are going to give up whether it is a vector, whether it is a list. So all the things can be percolated into this data frame here. So here is an example, the body mass index. So it takes up the number of vectors. One, it is going to have gender vector. 2, it is going to have height vector. 3, it is going to have age vector. 4th, it is going to have weight vector. So now you can see column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. So 4 columns are going to be assigned to the 4 vectors here. 4 columns are going to be assigned to the 4 vectors, and obviously we are going to get the tabular view of the data. So this is the structured approach which we are going to be presenting as a part of the data frames here.